Good evening. It is November 2nd, Sunday night. Had most of the day in the shop, so it's in a state of clean and prep. I'm about to do some finish work, so didn't get a chance to shoot a video yesterday, so here we are for the November shop tour. Over here in the front right, as I always start, there's a pile of crap that needs to go up in the attic, and it's killing me that I haven't had a chance to put it all away because I've been tripping over it all weekend, but as usually lives there, it's a pile waiting to go in the attic. What you see there are 3 ceiling hatches I made over the weekend. Some box of mollies on them. See that curve on the top? There, we did some work at a school with a curved ceiling and had to cut holes in the ceiling. The ceiling is made of concrete and wire lath. So these are going to fit over the holes, and they're scribed to fit onto the curve, and they've got access doors in the middle of each one. So that's how I spent the last day and a half, is making them. But as we move through, there's one of the funeral chairs. It's ready for its 3rd coat of armor seal. I put 2 coats of blue dyed shellac, and then I'm going to do a total of 5 coats of armor seal, so we're about to get the 3rd coat. After I was done with those hatches, I took the 2 chairs. You can see the 2nd chair is folded up on the bench over there. The 2 chairs and the table, and I sand them all down with 320 and vacuum them. So as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to hit them all with a tack cloth and then do some finishing. But figured I can talk now without a mask on, so I should shoot the video now. So there on the saw, as I said, is the chair, one of the funeral chairs. Over here is kind of put away and cleaned up a little bit. There is my future dust collector, or parts of it, along with... That is the first Wood Whisperer Guild project, the Shaker side table, which I want to say is a 2010 project. I'm not sure exactly of the year, but we're now in 2014. I'm embarrassed to say I'm thinking that. I'm not 100% sure of the year. It's been a long weekend. But it's been a long time, and that was a project that I finished on Mother's Day and then handed to my wife and gave her as a Mother's Day present, and since then it's been sitting unfinished, and I'm finally getting around to putting a finish on it, so that's a project that's finally wrapping up. Underneath it is the storage bin for the new dust collector, and in the box over there is the Super Dust Deputy that's going to go on top on the hole, and we'll get to where that's going in a minute. That's a project I desperately need to get going on, because right now I'm without dust collection. I'll get to that in a second. Over here is the tabletop, the table drawer, some test samples, and the other chair. Nothing too much going on over on the bench. Here's the joiner that I've got a friend who's very nicely offered to make the angle irons, the Z-metal I need to fit underneath it. And over here, got some giant casters that can handle the weight of this beast, and I need to get off my butt and make the templates for him so that he can then weld the steel and make the bracket, so I can get those casters mounted, because you see how far out this thing sticks, and leaning over it is a pain in the butt. So I can get probably about 2/3 to 3/4 of the width of the whole machine underneath that bench when it's not in use, and just win a lot of space back here. I'll be able to reach that window, reach the pencil sharpener, things like that. Swinging around here is the bane of this past weekend, my existing dust collector. Now, I've done a little bit of work to get this thing up and running, and it works great. Unfortunately, that black tube you see there is how it exhausts. And I had it set up so it was just blowing out into the garden, which frankly worked absolutely fine in the summertime. I see that as an absolutely viable option when it's warm out. But it's not warm out anymore. So working with the garage door open is basically a non-starter right now. I certainly wasn't going to spend all weekend. It was rainy and cold and just nasty and raw. And it was winter, it's typical fall winter weather. So I built these 3 hatches without a dust collector. Now, I had my mask on the whole time, but basically after every step I was vacuuming out around the table saw. You can see there's still some dust sitting in that elbow at the bottom. It was just a bloody mess. So I'm very excited to get this thing set up. And I actually have all the parts I need to assemble it. I just now need to assemble it. The only part that I'm missing is the filter. And I've been emailing back and forth with Dick Wynn from Wynn Industries or Wynn Environmental about some filters. So this week I'll probably pull the trigger and order the filters from him so that I can start putting it together. And I have the Long Island Woodworkers show coming up on next weekend, on the 8th and 9th, I believe it is. And up until then, it's going to be a mad rush to keep finishing these projects, because one of the two chairs, whichever one comes out nicer, this table, a project that's in my son's room, and Lil's coat rack are all going to the Long Island Woodworkers show, so I'm not going to touch anything other than those projects in the next week. But once the show is over and I get a little bit of space in here, I then need to finish the dust collector, because working without dust collection is killing me. So that'll be the next project here. And as I have all the parts, and by then I should have the filter, I'm hoping it's only an afternoon and it gets put together. There's the motor and impeller and fan section over there beneath the joiners. So hopefully it's not such a beast to put together. And then to get back to the tour, over there you see my shop vac with its little mini Cyclone. It's big and bulky for shop vac, but I'll tell you, that thing, that's the old Clearview Cyclone that fits on that rigid vacuum, and it still works great. I mean, it's not this thing, but for what it is, it works absolutely fantastic. And then the planer has lots of scraps of plywood on them. And over here, I took in some Baltic birch plywood, so it's sitting there behind it. And I've got this big hunk of oak, and there's a little bit more oak down there, and that's oak, and the walnut. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's kind of calling to me. I love that knot right there. This walnut, unfortunately, is not that thick, so I'm not sure what I'm going to make with this, but there might be a bench in there somewhere. I don't know. It's kind of calling to me. So that may be another project. They also may turn into skateboards, because I have to build a skateboard soon. Anyway, I'm kind of just going off now. That's where the shop stands. It is November 2nd. I hope you're getting some time in your shop, especially as the winter comes in. I hope your shop has some heat. If it doesn't, let me know. I'll gladly go through with you how to insulate. I mean, the shop right now, oh, it fell down. Right there is the hook. Right there. That the thermometer should hang from. Where's the thermometer? Oh, here it is. Alright, let's see. Okay. 70 degrees. 69 degrees. And this thing is set to 75, which is not too bad, considering that right there is a big gaping hole that goes up into the attic, which is unheated. I still have to do a bit of air sealing along that top edge, and I've got the big garage doors, though just the insulating of these two walls and the floor has made a tremendous difference. It's warmer in here than it is in my house, and some of that's because we keep the heat low in the house, but it's just a delightful space. So, if you don't have your shop insulated, let me know, and I'll help you out, and we'll get it insulated, because you need to be in your shop all year round. Till then, I'll talk to you guys next month.